I just didn't give a fuck. And the music, I was like, the music, and it was almost like, well, yeah, but if you get the music in the door, then you can do all of that. And for anyone that's out there, think if you have something really special, remember that it ain't you that's special. It's the thing you're selling is special.
Yeah, but you know, I tell you what it is, and I've seen it. You guys have where you're coming from and what you have, and I see it. It's like it's not real. It's real. It's weird because you have a belief, such a belief in what you do and how you do it, that it's coming anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you're born with it, and you say, this is gonna happen. Even when I met you in the street in Camden, you had that own self-belief of what you're doing and how you're doing it and how it's to be done. It's so creative. I tell anybody, you can give Goldie anything. You can give him a hat. You can give him a t-shirt. Anything you give him, he will go away and come back, and it's better than when you gave it to him in the first place.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
it's just nuts. It's just nuts in every...
Yeah. I used to cherish? I used to get in the Mercedes from Dorney Tower, 18 Dorney Tower, have the deck set up, get in the car, drive to Maida Vale, pull up outside your yard. And I've just come back from the studio, and I put the cassette in, and I'd sit there, and Elgin Avenue, and I'd play you something new, and I'd just see you there, just... You'd be like, this is it. You've been rubbing your hands together. This is it. Do you know? Because I'd always have to try and top the idea. I'd always have to try and do, and I was in that zone. And I think the wheels fell off in America. But I also think that with the tour, with Rob, me and Rob were at war with the whole thing with the idea. Because when you give someone everything and you offer it to them in the beginning, and they see it going to something else, it became a problem.
Yeah.
And of course, with the tour, I think for me, even from the drug perspective of hallucinogenics or whatever it might have been, I felt that when we did Brazil and when we were going down this road doing all these different things, I'd see the band arguing over a music that I'd created in my fucking head, and I felt that. I mean, I still have the keyboard here with all of the. I don't know if I can unplug this one
with the stickers on it.
Listen, I'll show you now. Because it sits here, and I always said that one day I would show you this again. But for anyone out there, this was the original, and still is, my original tour keyboard.
With the stickers on it.
The stickers on it. And there it is. Saint Angel, Sea of Tears, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And all of the stuff that I would play with the Boss click, UFO, Bell, K1, the Panzap, the pad 1, pad 2, pad 3, pad 4, reload 1, reload 2, bell bass. It's all there.
Crazy.
It's all there.
Crazy.
And I kept it because the one thing that you brought to this whole thing, when we said we were going to go live, we were going to go live.
Well, that was the thing from day one, because you were the producer, Diane Charlemagne was the singer. I managed the producer. So my thing is, that's where the light for me has got to shine. And how you make music and the personality and what type of person you are, I had to bring that to the fore. And to bring that to the fore, it had to be a live situation. It couldn't never be, and it never was, for us, push the CD in and push play. That's what you said. It could never be that. So from the first time we went out, was it the Word we did?
It was the Word. We had the Word, and then we went for the Yamaha 01s, where we knew we'd trigger the loop, we'd play the loop, we'd add all the loops into it, and we knew what time span we had, and we would play everything to that. Yeah, Tim the bass, Adam Keld, Justina Curtis. I mean, Justina's Curtis to the album when I think about Adrift and the pad she play and the way that with Cleveland and all those things, she added a lot to it because even with Truth, Extraction and all of the dats, all of the dats I still have. So the impact, all said and done, that inert thing of wanting to be the way that I wanted to do it, and I really mean this. I think that the re-release of Saturn's Return was one thing because that was a very personal album, and my relationship with Mom and all my trauma and all that stuff. As a coming of age album, Timeless, it's remained at the top of the tree for me. I don't think there's been an album that's come out from this genre that have gone anywhere near it, to be frank.
100%.
And the amount of love and the people within that, the people that actually grew up on the album, what this is about, the fan base that have got the 2.5 kids that remember when they're at uni, or they remember when they were, hearing the first dub and hearing certain things. It's, even yesterday we found the original Dat dub, and it's got this Chemistry unreleased, and it's the dub version of Chemistry that I wrote. I had to write the track to for Diane, to put Diane on to create the polished version for the EP. And it's as raw as you like, and it sounds incredible. But I think that on the other side of the coin, you may have some stuff, because I could never find the DAT. I found the parts for Sea of Tears, but I could never find the pads and the takes, because there's a DAT that's got... do you remember when Robbie used to do all the takes? He'd have, minus dB one day, and we go all through in pounds, different versions. So you may have a lot of that. But let me go back to the point. I'm really grateful and very humble that we're still alive. And I nearly lost you. That was petrified, man. You really lost you, old man. And you look better now than you've ever looked. And I think that
Thank you.
The amount of love that even when we kind of parted the ways, where he's like, I can't help him. He's killing people on a fucking airplane. He's getting thrown off. Remember when the armed police had taken him off a fucking BA flight? Do you know what I mean? It's like he was Rockstar without having to be Rockstar. But I was a rock star in D&B. It was like mad shit.
100%.
But I think that now, looking back on it gracefully, because it's 27 years for me and you, that lead up to Timeless, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been an amazing experience. It's been one of the most...
journey.
It's been an amazing journey. And even Robin, we were cutting the breeze on it. And the people that we had on the album... It was only yesterday that I realised with Robin that he'd wrote Earth, Wind and Fire, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Pasadena's.
What?
Yeah, Robin had written, like Robin Smith had done, he's got about 40 gold discs on his yard, in his yard, mate. I mean, did you not know that? He said, Goldie, he would play tennis with Morris in LA. He would go there and write songs for Earth, Wind and Fire. He's a dark horse.
Crazy.
Do you know what I mean? So it was the kudos for him of being on this album. That he says, Goldie, this era had ended where you'd get a guy to fly and just go and songwrite. It was a different era, and all of a sudden this new music came, and Soul to Soul and Howie and of course we were riding on the back of that. God bless Jazzy B and what he'd done for music, because that's what we were looking. Well, I was.
He opened that door,
and he opened the door for us. And then it was, Nelly was my, my kind of my guru in that sense. I loved it.
Yeah.
And this created this massive explosion. And I'm really grateful for that journey that we had. And I mean, look, like I said, listen, if that meeting with me and Josh would have worked, I would have probably ended up in a hotel room with a needle in my arm.
Something else would have happened.
Something else would have happened.
I
think coming back,
because you was in that bubble. You was in that bubble, and that bubble would only have got bigger and deeper.
Yeah, and I wasn't ready. LA was turning off at 10 a.m. at night, and I'm like, nah, man, I want to go all night. And I mean, Park Hotel. I'd be hiding. Le Parc, I'd be hiding gear in and go, can I have 310, please? Knowing that my gear would be tucked away in the mantelpiece. Do you know what I mean? I'd say, no, I'd be like, I'm calling my mates up. I ain't gonna name who. I'd be like, oi, geez, listen, when you do that US tour, yeah? You're at Park, yeah? Go there, yeah, cool. 310, yeah? I'll tell you where it is. I mean, rockstar shit.
That's You always wanted that room.
That's why I always
You
went that
told me
room.
it was- You told me it was the view.
No, it wasn't the view, mate. It wasn't the view. It wasn't the view. It was. That's why I went. And you know what? You know what the killer was? When I went back there for like a DJ tour, I went 310, please. I went in there and they'd fucking carpeted it. I'm like, my fucking kit's gone. Where's the cleaner? Where's the cleaner? But it's been amazing. It's been amazing, and it wouldn't have happened without, it wouldn't have happened without you, because you know, people that I speak to, they always get when you say people got the nose put out. It's like I said, when the band starts to argue, and it's pedaiums and it's all of that, and you know I used to sing to people and go, right, this is how it's going to be, and when they start to go off piste, I'm like, no. It's not a writing thing. This is my writing. This is where I want it to be.
Yeah. This is how I want it to.
And they've come at it, and then, you know, you give them an initial riff, and like, you know, and Adam and all these people start going, no, and I'm like, whoa. You got those riffs. I played them to you. And then when you go off piste and you start doing this stuff, it ain't going to work with me. And I think that whole thing, when I saw this thing explode, it became this when I saw this thing explode, it became this whole other thing. And I just thought, I guess part of it was self-destruct. Go figure, 25 years, T, 26,
25 years.
It's mad. And the one thing I want to leave it on, you were in Miami and we did a documentary, I think it was Passengers.
Farila.
Anyone? I mean, I don't know why they never show that again. We had this whole concept.
Farila for Channel 4.
And what a concept pilot. You know, the whole thing with Miami. And I think what was brilliant about that was that you sat down on the bay and you said, when he wants to do something, he's going to do it. And this kind of music that he's championing. And I never felt as proud until I saw that interview, because I felt like we did it. We did everything possible. And, you know, it's one of those things that it'll never happen again in that way. And I'm just glad that people can get this reissue. But also, what's more important is the crucible, because behind this ring, it's not the finished ring. That's timeless. Yeah, that's timeless. I get that. But it's what's in the crucible that made it. The gold that we melted to put into the mold is more important to me.
Hold on 1 second.
I know what you're drawing for. Let me see it. Let the camera see. Oh, turn it upside down. Well, let me see it. I knew you're drawing for it. There can only be the head. Wow. Wow.
The head.
Still got it.
Of course.
Wow. And you know what's mad? I've just redesigned it for 2020. Give it a remix. And
make sure I get mine.
You'll get yours.
Make sure I get mine.
Madness.
Crazy. And we could have the eyes that we wanted, remember?
Yeah. So you had the red rubies, right?
I had the red rubies.
Groove Rider lost his. You know, Scotty, I think Scotty still got his, maybe. I don't know. He's like, I've got mine, mate, tucked away lovely.
I've got mine tucked away lovely. Sharon put it away.
Wow.
In the box, it's there. Because I used to wear it on my wedding finger.
Oh, that's gone now.
I'm married to metalheads. Married to metalheads. 100%. That's where I wore it. I wore it on my wedding ring finger. Forever. Forever and ever and ever.
Wow.
And then when I got married,
that was it.
I had to take it off.
It was mad when I even think about the way that we handle the label. And one thing we haven't touched on is that bad boy. You came to the club and we
remember that.
We turned the light. I've got it on film.
Blue Note. And
you held it up and we've done it, and you just held up the disc. It's the other way around, like the ring is just turning round. And we did it, and we turned the lights off and we had it. It was the idea that coming back to a nightclub, because I'd call every week back to Blue Note. How we doing? How's the numbers?
Yeah.
And I'd call back every while them lot were running amok. And it was the idea of not wanting to sell out, you know, because I always fought with that in my mind, if you remember. I was always like, yeah, we've got to keep the music real, and it's got to be that. And, you know, and of course, when you do the tour every night playing the same music, you kind of want to get back to it.
Yeah.
And the club and the label was doing that. You know, and we got back there, and when you came in with that gold disc, to come to a nightclub as underground, which was already synonymous, and it was this mad club with the best sounding on, best nightclub in London,
Best food,
best yard food.
downstairs, chess.
Dylan just said,
It was crazy.
Dylan,
What a concept. What a concept
what a
for
concept.
a club.
I said to Dillinger the other day, and you know, Dillinger doesn't want to do an interview, doesn't want to do anything. He said, "Go." He said, the club. He said to me, right here, he went, best club of all time, because that the people that came to it, you know, from you had Val when he was in town, and Josh, you had, you know, David Barnes, Fishburne, all of them, Spice Girls, all of them, anyone that was
Naomi, Stella Tennant, Stella McCartney.
They'd all be there. And I mean,
all the Stellas, Noel Gallagher, all of them. That was a place to be.
It was good times. And I think even Talking Heads as a documentary, and you think we had the biggest indie band in the world playing football on Bovingdon pitch right next to us. And I'm sitting there in Bovingdon, the house that we got, first house I ever had. You went, get yourself an house. We need brick.
Go get that dough.
Go get that. I'll get the dough. I'll do that. Go and get your Mercedes. I went to Bath.
Remember when we was on tour and I had Tara taking pictures of houses in Hertfordshire, sending us the pictures.
Sending me pictures. Never forget.
I knew that was how I had to get you out of the high rise.
Yeah, I know.
I had to get you out of the high rise in your own.
It was kind of sad leaving Dorney, but the freedom I had, you know, coming back and writing Mother and the whole thing I was going through, and you know, I had everything, the cars, the Ferraris, Bentleys, and whatever I had, you know, Mercedes, Porsches. It was, you know, we had everything. And I think that when I say, forget my name, this kid, when I look at the list of people and who we met and what we did, this kid had a fucking ball. And Timeless was that coming of age with this kid going, this is amazing. And it wasn't real. It's like the most surreal dream ever. But going back to the point, we're going to wrap it up. This album was the wild style of electronic music. It was the alpha. And all of the strands that came on the back of it, you know, because I saw a thing a couple of years ago, and it's like, well, what's the best drum bass album of all time? Timeless came out here. Everything else was here.
Yeah.
We'd done that, and the napalm, the fallout.
It opened the box. It opened the box even more. It opened the box even more for that music, because once they heard that, they then went back in the crates.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? They went back in the crates. Other things were accepted. The music wasn't too fast. It wasn't mad. You know what I'm saying? That album opened a lot of doors, man, for a lot of people. The same way Jazzy's opened it for us is the same way that opened it for a lot of people. A lot of things were you know, accepted, taken on board, even looked at through that album and through the musicality of that album.
What's weird about the remaster is that my ego, which is brilliant, would go in the room before I did. You had to kind of get my ego's before I even got in the room. Was that Sensual? I always wanted the Maze version on the album, and I was adamant. It's got to be the Maze thing, man. It's all about Maze, you know what I mean? Like, you know, honouring the past. And it was Japan only for the main version. And the main version was like, that should have been the main version. The main version is just like, wow. Because it's the grandest of intros. And it slows down in the middle of the track, as opposed to, it starts with the ding, 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 and it moves. It's the opposite way. And it was Japan only. And we've got it.
Only?
It was only for Japan, the big version of it. So that's going on the whole thing, and it's brilliant because there's all these versions that we're finding, and God, thank God for Rob on this, because we bounced loads of versions, and State of Mind hip hop version, you know, with the pizza. You remember these? You remember my the little tapes I used to record on the Olympus, and it's got like, yo, you know, instead of State of Mind, it was like, yo, pizza eating motherfuckers, pizza eating mother. And it's just this whole version because I'd met Muggs and Cypress Hill and that influence. So I thank you so much for protecting me, because they were all going to have to get me, and I'm like, fuck you all, moving target. Moving target, didn't care, because you're going to put someone's nose out, because if they had their choice, they'd have sliced it into a 1,000-piece cake.
Yeah.
Cake belonged to me, and you can have some of the ice. Yeah. That's the bottom line as a concept album. So thank you, Trenton. It's been emotional.
Thank you.
It's been
thank you for letting me be part of the journey.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for letting me be part of the journey, because it's one of the best journeys I've ever had. It really set me up in a stead to be the manager that I am now. I can never, when they say to me, "Oh, he's hard. He's a hard person to manage." If somebody offers me something, I said, "Yeah."
Can manage G.
I said, "Yeah." Anybody, anywhere. Come.
Yeah, I was tough.
Come.
I was tough. I mean, and you know who I spoke to last week? This is going to blow your mind. Ken Block.
You know what? Every time I see him doing the drifting,
well,
I'm like,
he was in the World Rally Championship. He's got a company called Hoonigan. It's probably like $1 billion company now. He's bought a mountain in Utah. The guy, when he sold his thing, he just set out for life.
He sold DG.
Remember, DC was 760 million. They all got third. Clayton Blyme, Damon, and Ken. Ken went into drift, but then went into rally championships. He goes and does demos all around the world. Rally team, big time.
When did you speak to him?
I spoke to him 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I know. And he said, I don't know what I just thought of you, and I had to reach out to you because obviously Instagram. You know, it's mad, but I can't thank enough what the experience of time, knowing that it was going to be timeless, and knowing that it was the herring to let me do Mother, because I knew I was going to get crucified. I knew that would happen. You know it was going to be, you knew it was going to be that, and it was never going to be timeless too. And I get it, but I had to do that. I wouldn't change Mother. I wouldn't change it at all.
You can't change it.
And being here now and celebrating it 25 years later, 27 for me, 26 for me and you, 27 at a push, that this is it. And getting these versions out for people to hear, and even in a different context, man. You know, because when it was the Mobos and me and you bowled into the Mobos, it was best album, best jungle act. There was only 3 of us in the category anyway, so that was a given. But it was George Michael, Destiny's Child, Mark Mac, Return of the Mac, Jamiroquai, and Destiny's Child. Timeless beats all of them.
Yes.
You know, and I think Pete's, I don't know if you can shed one last bit of light, well, one bit of light that we'll probably put this in between the interview. But Pete couldn't work out. He was saying to me, the only thing I regret was we didn't win the other one that Ronnie won. The Mercury. And I'm like, didn't want to curse the Mercury because everyone that's won it, it's always got a bit left for me. You know what I mean? But there was a reason. Was it something to do with the way it was released, or the time it was released, or something?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. But the Mercury, you have to apply for a certain time. The album had to be out for a certain time, and I think that we were ahead of the Mercury. Time when you put it in.
Yeah.
But I remember that.
I'm glad we never went there, because it's always been a bit of a curse. And I'm like, you know what? We was always one away anyway. So I'm like, that's it. I'm glad for that. But listen, I love you and leave you. I think we've covered most. Is there anything you think that we haven't covered? Because I didn't want it to be just about the stories, because we got fucking loads of stories.
We've got loads of fucking stories.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Cliff White, I just want to say, when Cliff White, rest his soul, we lost some brothers. We lost Danny.
Yeah.
Who instigated the deal with Pete Tong, just for people to know. And we lost Cliff White, the greatest tour manager of all time. Managed, Public Enemy, De La Soul, and, me on tour.
Ice-T.
When he took me to see Ice-T on CSI, if you remember, when we went on the set with the good side. The good side of George was I posted a picture of me, Cliff, and Ice-T on the set of CSI when he first started. This was before the meeting in LA We was in LA, but it was like a couple of weeks before we popped in to see him. Because
What are you talking?
call Ice, we're going to see Ice. And we went on the set. And we met him. And we met Ice-T. And then the meeting which imploded with George, the manager, which obviously they didn't realise. And the next time I saw Ice-T was when he was doing Body Bag in Newquay, in England. A place called The Cooler. Yo, Goldie, man, what's up, man? Long time, man. I'm like, last time I saw you on the set of CSI, so you couldn't make this shit up. I know. Mental.
I didn't know you did. There was so much you did that I never knew.
I mean, Hilfiger.
Yeah, Hilfiger with Ubi.
We used to walk into. I remember going on the first tour. You've gone, listen, this whole Hilfiger thing, and John Paul had come to a gig and said, "Look, man, Paul John, you've got to come. One of these guys, you've got to come. You've got to come to Hilfiger, and Tommy wants to see you." And I think the gravity, the impact of Timeless, the reach of it was okay. All the mad parties, but the maddest thing was walking into Tommy Hilfiger's office, and he's got a picture of me above his desk, along with, Mo Steph, or who was it? He had a picture of Naughty by Nature.
Yes.
And, he had all these pictures, and it's like, there's a picture of me, and I'm like, this is mental. Mad times. When in Rome, eat lions. That's what I'm saying. When in Rome, eat lions. We did it, see. I mean, we could go on for hours. You know what? My wake is going to be a different ball game. Your wake's going to be a different ball game, and it ain't going to happen anytime soon. So, touch wood. I love you loads. I love you more than a lot of, I've loved you. You know me more than anyone, man.
Always.
And them grind boys ain't got nothing on me, mate.
Always, man. Always. That's the beginning. That's the beginning.
All right. I love you, Tim. You have a good time.
All right. You take care.